Hi guys and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. Round 7 of our MotoGP World Championship is underway and it's time for Mugello right here in the Italian GP. So in pole position it's Johan Zarco with Quartararo and Rins on the front row, Miller, Bagnaia, Oliveira on the second, Vinales, Espargaro, Morbidelli, Bastianini, Petrucci and Marquez, Espargaro, Binder, Marquez, Martin, Savadori, Mir, Nakagami, Lecuona, Grant, Rossi and Marini at the back of the grid. So we look to the lights from 21st in the grid. We can only hope and pray we have a good one, and away we go. On board the Aprilia, it is time to give it everything we have. Just give it everything. We're going to be starting so far behind, so just try and get in the slipstream with power setting 3 and try and take advantage of anyone who might be going slow going into San Donato for turn 1. Right hand side we go. We managed to pick up a few positions. We might be able to get a little bit more by diving over the inside. It's going to be very, very tight here going into Luco. For the left-hander as Alex Marquez made a massive wobble there, but thankfully the man is still on board his motorcycle. As we get onto the right hand side of the tyre now, bring on the acceleration, bring on the power, and let's try and dive over the inside of Morbidelli, maybe up the inside of Espargaro. Not going to be a little bit of contact made there between the Repsol Honda man and the Aprilia RSGP. There is Jorge Martin. Does he fancy a lunge ahead of us? Right hand side we'll go for Casanova. Do we have a lunge going with inside for Cervelli? Beautifully done there. Up on the inside goes Grant. A little bit of contact as Espargaro really didn't want to let us get through. But for the time being, we did lose a little bit of ground to Franco Morbidelli. But onto the right-hand side, we'll go for Arrabbiata 2. Nice and tight to the apex. Maybe a little bit too tight. We did that too much in the practice session just earlier on. As we now go onto the right-hand side for Scarpa here, we've ran it wide. Espargaro will... Oh, that's a gorgeous move, that. Coming in from Paul Espargaro. But a little bit of contact made between him and the Aprilia. As they've sort of messed things up with themselves. You need to start messing around now. They need to work together to try and chase down the riders ahead, because if they continue to battle like this, they'll be staying in 12th and 13th place respectively. Left hand side for Biondetti 1 and Biondetti 2 for the right hand side. We are trailing by about 1 second to Franco Morbidelli in 11th place, so we made a big mistake battling with Paul Espargaro. We probably should have stayed with him. I mean, a bit of both really, because Espargaro really didn't want to let us get through and we didn't really want to let him get through. So I guess that bit of argy-bargy certainly hasn't paid off. Bit of a mistake on the behalf of both of us, let's be honest. As we now go hard on the brakes into San Donato, we're stuck on the rumble strip, but we managed to close in. There is one of the Aprilias going super wide. I think that's Aleix Espargaro, of course. Teammate orders in the sense of always try to beat your teammate, and now knowing that Espargaro is not too far ahead of us, I've got that bit of momentum again. We were very, very quick in practice and qualifying going into the first sector, and you can see it here. It's so apparent how much we've been able to close in on Danilo Petrucci and Aleix Espargaro, so as long as we can stay with them for the rest of the lap and use their slipstream onto them back straight, we might have a good chance of actually having a decent result here. And considering we started 21st on the grid, I think 12th place is already a wonderful, wonderful start. Right hand side for Arrabbiata 1. There is Aleix Espargaro. He has gone absolutely backwards. He has made a terrible, terrible mistake going into San Donato, and that has cost him so many positions, and he's about to lose another one to the Tech 3 KTM rider Danilo Petrucci, who is just stalking him, waiting for that moment. But I gotta say, we're only 2.7 seconds down from Fabio Quartararo, and considering we made that bit of mistake with Paul Espargaro, that bit of a ding-dong of a battle, we're not that far away. And check out that top 3 right now. Fabio Quartararo, Zarco and Miller, very similar to the real race we had until Miller went backwards a little bit. But of course, Johan Zarco, up there again. Why is he so good in this video game in this season? Now, I've watched other people's videos on the season modes, and Johan Zarco has never been this competitive. He is an absolute beast in my career mode right now. Johan Zarco is definitely the man to beat, as we made a massive mistake there, cutting the corner practically, but we did go into the pit lane entrance, so it's absolutely fine. Using all the speed in the world to chase down Danilo Petrucci, and I tell you what, we haven't even had our upgrade on the engine yet. That was brilliant. We caught up so much speed with power setting 3 and the slipstream that we've practically not even just got one. We're going to take another rider here in Aleix Espargaro. Wait for him to run it. Oh, we went round the outside and Espargaro fights back though. Espargaro dives back up on the inside. He's probably wondering how on earth we've been able to chase him down, considering we started so far back. And there is Enea Bastianini having a great race as well in 9th position for the Satellite Ducati. Bringing on the power now, trying to chase down Aleix Espargaro. That little bit of a moment we had just a moment ago was sort of slowed us down somewhat, and I've lost another position out to Danilo Petrucci. That is my mistake. A little bit of an error on my behalf, letting him get through there. There's not really much I could do, unfortunately. Just I made the mistake going into Savelli, and he took advantage of it. Good job for Danilo Petrucci. Now we're going to Arrabbiata 2, bring on the acceleration, going to upshift to third here and then bring it hard onto the anchors for turn 10 for the tight right-hander of Scarperia. Now to the left-hand side for Pelagio, and see Jorge Martin behind us as well. We fought with the Pramac Ducati a couple of times. Looks like we're going to be fighting with another Pramac Ducati here today in the new race winner in Austria just last week, of course, in real MotoGP, Jorge Martin, the Martinator, of course. Right-hand side will go as I just briefly cut the corner there. A little bit of a mistake on my behalf there, of course. Trying to do a little bit too much in this Grand Prix as we now go on to the left-hand side. I'm going to try and use power setting 3 maybe again. It's probably not a good idea because we really need to try and save a bit of fuel just for towards the end of the race. You know, my usual strategy is only use it when you really need it. And for the time being, we probably don't really need it, but we could do with that bit of extra boost as Bastianini and Espargaro do battle for 9th position. Now as we get right too close to the San Donato apex there, we are very, very close to the rumble strip, practically riding on it and across it. As we're now going to Luco for the second corner. Right-hand side now for Poggio Secco as we go super close to the rear of Enea Bastianini, almost touching his rear Michelin tyre there. As we now go hard on the brakes. Oh, a little bit more contact for his troubles. As we now go on the right-hand side. Can we have a dive up the inside? Look at that. Enea Bastianini has been well and truly beaten up in just a couple of corners. That was a bit aggressive, if I do say so myself, but I'm desperate. I'm desperate to get this one done. We have to get into these moves. We have to make it stick, because otherwise we're not going to be able to chase down Aleix Espargaro. That is the goal for today. If we're going to be this close, we have to get past Aleix Espargaro. We have to beat our teammate. You know the rules. You know how it is. That is exactly what we need to do here today. So hard on the brakes will go for Scarperia for turn 10. One of my favourite corners in the track, actually. I really like dropping it down in there. You have to be gentle on the brakes but firm at the same time, if that makes any sense. I hope it does, but you have to be firm but in control, let's say. Not any of this abrupt braking stuff. We don't do that round here because it's pretty much deadly when you decide to do that. So guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and the like button, because it helps the channel out quite a lot on the journey for 2,000 subscribers, and I would really appreciate your assistance as we go into Pacini for turn 15. Or a little bit too much rear brake there. You've seen the bike sort of snake itself just a little bit on the entry. But now coming on to the exit of Pacini, full acceleration using power setting 3 once again, half a second, a little bit more now to Aleix Espargaro as we go over the crest and over the rise, and we'll begin to brake heavily going into turn 1 for San Donato. We have closed in somewhat to Aleix Espargaro, not enough to say that we're going to be close enough for a lunge or anything like that, but we are rather close now to the Spaniard just ahead of us. Now our lap times have been similar these past couple of lap times, not too bad so far. Lap 2, lap 3 and 4 have roughly been about a 3.5–4 tenths of a second deviation, which I'm quite pleased with so far. We had some difficult moments in the practice session and in qualifying, but yet again, as the Sunday man that I am, we have decided to turn it up in the race and try and be consistent and try and use the other riders as a reference and as a guide. In the practice and qualifying sessions, I very rarely get a tow, I very rarely get a rider ahead of me. For some reason, it just never seems to happen. It seems no matter how many times I go out of the pits and onto the track, none of the riders are actually on the track and anywhere near us. And look at these couple of riders bunching up. Miguel Oliveira has gone backwards in this one. Something has happened to the Portuguese man. He is sort of slowing down quite a lot. Perhaps the soft option rear that Oliveira has chosen is backfiring quite a lot. As you can see, he is just sort of dropping behind, getting beaten in every other corner. It won't be long now until we join Aleix Espargaro and Miguel Oliveira, and there is Franco Morbidelli further up the road just as well. And of course now closing in on both Espargaro and Oliveira. Flick it to the left hand side for Biandetti 1, to the right hand side for Biandetti 2. This is going to be super close to the side of Aleix Espargaro, but we don't just take the 1, we're going to take 2. Can we go around the outside of Miguel Oliveira? Oliveira's got that wonderful inside line, but we'll get it to the inside, and potentially we can get an inside line to Miguel Oliveira, and we are now through. Wonderful job to put us into 8th position. I'm pretty pleased with that one. If that's going to be the final position that we're going to take, then so be it. 21st to 8th position, you can't grumble at that one. Yes, again, it's not Portimao where we went from 20th to 2nd. That was, of course, was a historic race. But for the time being, 21st to 8th, I'm more than happy with that for the time being. Hopefully we can chase down Franco Morbidelli, but within 3 laps, it's going to be a little bit of a tall task, a bit of a tall order, if you will, as we get a little bit onto the rumble strip there. going out of Poggio Secco. Now into the left-hand side for Materassi, and then to the right-hand side for Borgo San Lorenzo. Nice and tight to the apex. Bring on the power, bring on the acceleration, not touching the rumble strip because it does slow you down somewhat. As we now go into the right-hand side, looks to be another group of riders all bunching up there. I do believe there's Franco Morbidelli, Bagnaia, maybe Alex Rins, and I think it's Maverick Vinales as well. It definitely won't be Joan Mir, because Joan Mir is so far behind us. We passed him way earlier on, who's qualified down at 18th, I believe it was. Really poor result for the Spaniard and the world champion, of course, Joan Mir. Now onto the right-hand side for Scarperia, and there is Maverick Vinales just ahead of us coming out of Pelagio. We might be able to pinch 7th if Maverick Vinales slows down somewhat, or just a little bit more. On the right side for Correntine, we have ran it deep, and that will give us another track limit warning perhaps. No track limit warning given, but that mistake there has cost us a lot of time. I don't think we are going to be able to get down to 7th position. Maybe 8th was the best in our near future. Unfortunately, after that mistake, and I was just going to say Miguel Oliveira, but that's not Miguel Oliveira. Miguel Oliveira is no longer in the top 12. Something has happened to Miguel Oliveira, and it's now Danilo Petrucci running the KTM flag there in 9th position, using power setting 3, trying to pick a double slipstream up from both Petrucci and Espargaro. And we now go into the 146s for the first time, so that big mistake has cost us quite dearly. But I tell you what, we haven't actually lost too much time compared to the likes of Maverick Vinales. We are right onto the rear of the Spaniard's tail right now. The Moto3 world champion from many years ago was now under pressure from the Aprilia, the bike that Aleix Espargaro and of course Maverick Vinales apparently will be teaming up on next season, but we still don't know about Maverick Vinales' future. And after today's events, something I'm not going to discuss in this video, it seems to have gone all heck to a handbasket as well. But power setting 2, we might be able to use a bit of power setting 3 on the penultimate lap, but it's 0.1 compared to, can we get the move on Maverick Vinales? It's going to be super close, so we just touched the rear and shoved Vinales wide. That was a bit aggressive from the man on board the Aprilia, but hey ho, job is done, and we are now up into 7th position. But now I'm kicking myself because we were right there. We were so close to chasing down Vinales that we made that mistake, and now we've lost all that ground. We could have possibly been battling with Alex Rins, Morbidelli, and even Pecco Bagnaia, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case here today. But you know what? Still happy with the result. 21st to 7th is one heck of an achievement, but it's not over yet. There is Aleix Espargaro. I've just seen the Fausto Grassini with the love heart on it onto the front of the bike on the winglets. I just recognised Aleix Espargaro right there, my teammate. As we go to the right-hand side for Biondetti 2, bring on the power, bring on the acceleration. We don't have much fuel, so I can't really be messing around with power setting 3. We might even have to consider dropping down to power setting 1. We ran it a little bit deep going into Bacchini, but it's still okay. We've got plenty of time, plenty of speed, and plenty of acceleration to get ourselves out of trouble. And now we go across the line in a moment's time. It is another slow lap once again, but of course we were involved with a bit of a skirmish with Maverick Vinales. So now it's time for the final lap, and let's have a quick recap of the top 9 positions as things stand. Fabio Quartararo in first position, Johann Zarco with another stellar performance there in second, with Jack Miller on the podium in third place. Pecco Bagnaia trails Jack Miller, Alex Rins in fifth, Franco Morbidelli, Matt Grant, Aleix Espargaro, and brother of Aleix, Paul Espargaro in 9th position. Very interesting top 10 right now as things stand. I'm not entirely sure who's 10th. It might be Danilo Petrucci, might be Maverick Vinales, I'm not entirely sure, and I won't be having a look behind me to find out who it is. I need to focus on the task at hand. We have dropped down to power setting 1 because I'm not sure if we'll have enough power and enough fuel to get us to the end of this Grand Prix, but for the time being, not bothered about the other 6 positions ahead of us. We must try and finish ahead of Aleix Espargaro and in 7th position. 7th position, of course, it's not the best result in the world, but considering we started from 21st, I'd call that a podium finish in my book. I'm pretty proud of that one so far. As we now go on the left-hand side for Pelagio for the final time of asking. Fabio Quartararo still leads. I haven't seen any changing up at the front. It's pretty much been Quartararo, Zarco, Miller for the entire duration of this Grand Prix, and maybe around 12 minutes ago when this Grand Prix started, the same 3 have featured in the exact same positions. Now, of course, only one more corner to navigate for Fabio Quartararo and for the many riders behind, and this is going to be the last time we enter Bacchini for this season, because of course Mugello is now over. Quartararo will take victory, Johann Zarco second, and Jack Miller takes third position. But how about Grant from 21st up into 7th place? Pretty top job from the man on board the Aprilia. So the end of the race is in. Quartararo wins with Zarco and Miller in second and third. And of course, as mentioned earlier, that top 9 has stayed the same since the last lap. A brief look at the championship now. Johan Zarco still leads now, but by 37 points ahead of the Aprilia from Matt Grant. 37 points behind in just our debut season in round 7 is pretty good going. Look at the team championship, and no reason why the Ducati teams wouldn't be dominating at the top. Another successful performance from both teams, both the Pramac Ducati teams and the Ducati Lenovo teams, putting them up into first and second positions. So we'll now finish at the Constructors' Championship, Ducati leading the way by 45 points ahead of Yamaha and 53 ahead of Aprilia. But guys, upon that note, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you did. And hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dot Race upload. Plenty more MotoGP videos coming soon, and also check out my other content if you enjoy my other style videos too. So guys, upon that note, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dot Race video.